This is a Spanish vineyard where between the vines, giant solar screens generate heat energy, photovoltaic screens produce electricity, and water is recycled. Miguel Torres, one of Spain's biggest winemakers, says this is how his industry can adapt to the threat of climate change.
It may be that in 30, 40 years, this place here, this vineyard, becomes too hot, too warm for the Merlot. So then what we have to do, and we may do this in the next years, to move Merlot slowly to the mountain area. Mountain area, why? Because with the altitude, you have cooler climates. We have to fight climate change. We have to try to persuade people to change. But on the other side, we, in the viticulture, we are going to adapt.
At smaller wineries, like Gramona, where the bottling is still done by hand, they're just as concerned about the threat of climate change. This is a laboratory and weather station right in the middle of the vineyard. Now it's taking data from a satellite that's up in the sky, also cables that are stuck under the vines in the vineyards all around us, and it's using that data to monitor the levels of acidity, sugar and pH. And perhaps my favourite machine over here, this actually measures the bubble capacity of the cava grapes. Gramona Wines is investing more than $1 million in a 4-year climate change study because they're very worried about the rising temperatures already affecting their grapes.
Now it's warmer, so we have to harvest the grapes in August, which is up to a month earlier than we did 10 years ago. We also have to protect them from the sun by allowing their leaves to grow thicker. And now it's more difficult for the cava grapes to produce bubbles because they don't absorb carbonic gases as easily. So far we've managed to maintain the quality of our sparkling wines, but they could be seriously affected in the future.
Consumers are tasting another result of climate change. Regions once too cold to grow grapes are now producing wine and competing for markets.
Belgium, Denmark, Holland are countries that, 20 years ago you would have never imagined they were going to produce wine, quality wine. Well, they're already producing some interesting wines.
The future for some winemakers depends not only on how well they can adapt to the changing weather, but also if they can survive the new competition. Danny Wood, BBC News, in Penedès, Catalonia.